Good afternoon. Thank you so much all for coming. I'm Cantor Mark Saltzman, and you know this wonderful woman. Cantor
Well, not everybody does. But
Cantor Ida.
Yes. On behalf of our rabbis, Michael Kahana and Rachel Joseph, Cantor Green, and our whole congregational family, it is moving and it feels necessary to be together today. The pain in our world is immense, beyond what many of us have ever experienced. This time and space today is for you. We ask that you bring your full open heart to this moment, listening with as much compassion for the stranger on your right as the friend on your left. Cantor Mark Saltzman is not a stranger to Portland and is, as many of you know, my brother from another mother with whom I have been collaborating on all things musical and meaning-making for many years. Mark started Sanctuary for Humanity 7 years ago in Los Angeles, and we are so gratified to bring it to Portland today for the first time. Sanctuary for Humanity is not always held in a designated sacred space, but it feels right to be in this sanctuary today. So whatever your background may be, right now this is your beautiful cocoon where we will gradually make our way towards some easing of anxiety, some increased light and hope, and we will do it together, guided by the power of music and individual stories. Thank you so much for being here as we open our hearts to the other whose story we may not yet know.
So this afternoon is going to be a sharing of stories, a sharing of blessings, a sharing of cultures, different kinds of music. Sanctuary for Humanity was created literally to provide a safe haven to encourage each of us to embody our innate sense of compassion, our love, and to be able to express it through a variety of creative explorations and dialogue and prayer and, of course, music. So it is my great pleasure and honor to be able to be here with you and with all of you and with you to share some of our love, some of our wisdom, some of our learning. It is actually the light within us that creates the light around us. And in Judaism, one of the most fun holidays, I would say, for me, other than Purim perhaps, is Hanukkah, because it celebrates light. And so we are going to actually light candles, as this is the fourth night of Hanukkah, and actually our sun is down, so we can actually light them, and begin this afternoon with bringing a little extra light into our lives and into this sanctuary. Shall we?
We shall. I want to explain first that for many of us, we have a custom of assigning a value to each candle. And so tonight, this afternoon, we're going to hear from a lot of different perspectives about the infinite qualities that Mark mentioned that light carries. And so for this first candle of wisdom, that's what we're calling it. And the age of wisdom, according to our sages, is 70. When you reach the year 70, you are finally wise. Now, the first friends and teachers that we're going to call up after we light the candles are Kathleen Sadat and Mario DePriest, whom we are honored to have here. And they may not have quite reached the age of 70, or they may have, no matter. They each have life experiences that are replete with wisdom to share. Their lives have been dedicated to planting seeds of justice and possibility for the next generation. So we're going to say the blessing just one time this evening for the Hanukkah light, and I'll ask Mark to do that with me. And there are matches. There we go.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Chanukah. Only one light. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asa nisim lavoteinu, bayamim hahem lazman hazeh. Happy Hanukkah, everyone.
I was so eager to light all of them. It's a good thing Mark was there to stop me. We'll take one at a time. So it's my delight to ask Kathleen to come up.
Thank you. And good afternoon. For your information, 70 is way back there. I'm honored to be here with you. I'm honored to share this space with you, to create sanctuary, to celebrate life, to celebrate love. Thank you for inviting me. Presented with an opportunity to share with you a reflection on seeds of light, seeds of love, my thoughts went immediately to my father. His name was Joseph Gunnell. He was a tremendous influence on my life. And when I was 7 years old, planted a seed of light in me. I'm not sure that he knew what he'd done or what he'd helped to create. My father served in the United States Navy during World War II. After the World War ended, he remarried and took his new family to Nashville, Tennessee, where he finished college. He attended Tennessee A&I State University. His wife and 3 children went with him. We lived in a trailer. I did not say mobile home. I did not say double wide. We lived in a trailer that was just a bit wider than the 2 couches at each end. Both couches let down into beds. Mom and Dad slept up front. The 3 kids slept in the back. Excuse me. I was about 7 years old, my brother Joseph about 5, and Charles was about a few months old when we moved there. I attended Ford Green grade school. I don't remember how far it was from where we lived, but often I had to walk when we didn't have enough money for bus fare. 1947, when you got on the bus in Nashville, Tennessee, one of the things you could plainly see was a sign that said, "This section for colored." Now, I'd ridden the buses a lot in St. Louis, and there were lots of Jim Crow laws in St. Louis in 1947, but none of them were on the buses, so you got to ride wherever you wanted on the buses, and I just didn't like having to sit in the back. So one day, when I had bus fare, I got on the bus, paid my fare, and immediately sat down behind the driver. I don't know what prompted me to do that. It was just that day. And at 7 years old, I was angry enough to try it out, to take the risk. I didn't know what would happen. I don't know that I was anything but angry, and I later learned in my life that anger often covers fear for me. So I probably was quite afraid. No one challenged me. No one said anything, not even the bus driver. Maybe it's because I was a child, or maybe it was because I was a light-skinned colored child. Gives you a little more privilege in the world. A guy named O'Farrell Nelson, who was a friend of my father's, was on the bus. He promptly told my father when he saw him that day. When I got home from school, my dad was there waiting. He told me what O'Farrell saw and asked me if it was true. And I said, yes, sir. He then asked me why I had disobeyed. Well, now I figured I was in a world of trouble because disobedience was just not well tolerated in 1947. And I was scared, but I said, I don't think it's right that we have to sit in the back because we're colored. Now, this is the amazing part to me, and this is where the seed gets planted. He looked at me, he paused, and then he said, you do what you think is right. I'm 7 years old. It's 1947 in Nashville, Tennessee, and my dad says, you do what you think is right. I'm not sure if he thought he was shaping my life, but more than 3/4 of a century later, I am still amazed at his answer, at the instruction he gave to his 7-year-old daughter. I, of course, did not always follow those instructions. But for the main, those words and the impact they've had on the 7-year-old still lives in the 7-year-old that still lives in me, and has shaped my life so that I continue to try to do what is right. And at 83, I'm still trying to do what I think is right. Today, that right thing is being here with you, being together, celebrating light, celebrating love, and celebrating one another. Thank you.
Shalom. Shalom mishpocha. And yes, I am a septuagenarian. It's an honor also and a privilege to come and once again be in front of this congregation, and usually I'm singing, right? And it's nice to be able to do one of my poems for you. Bear with me, it's a little deep, but it's all good. I am your past. I am the torn skin of long-removed shackles, the singed flesh, the whip's echoing crackle, the scar-laced back of the defiant. I am the promise broken, the heritage denied, the dream forgotten, the tradition unspoken. I am your conscience. I am the carcasses of endless numbers, from unborn infants to undeveloped minds. I need no weapon, for my mere presence reveals the evidence of the crime ongoing. I am your fears. I am the potential disaster, the trigger unpulled, the minefield awaiting, the marriage annulled. The secret passion of your daughter, the obsession of your son, an unwavering and undeterred threat to all you hold so dear and worship in reverberating silence. I am your tears. I am the guilt-ridden memories. I am the words of the song plucked on the unraveling strings of once treasured hopes and dreams deferred. Listen, as no one sings. Listen, listen. I am the salt in the eye's moisture and the earth's fullness. I am your hope, the sound of rumbling thunder in the distant cloud that approaches with the promise of a land drenched with Nubian droplets, plenteous and vast, forming a new sea of prosperous tranquility amidst resounding memories of past injustice. I am your future. I am the wrinkled brow of wisdom that knows and understands the ever-thirsting need, the never-ending vision, the essence of the sower's seeds that once again will rise and proclaim its true place upon the summit of your fading dreams. As the vision unfolds within the conscience, within the tears, within the hope.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day,
the dark sacred night, and I think to myself,
what a wonderful world. Colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky,
are also on the faces of people walking by.
I see friends shaking hands,
Saying, how do you do? They're really saying,
I love you.
I see babies cry. I watch them grow.
They know much more than I'll ever know.
And I think to myself,
what a wonderful world. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
oh yeah.
One, two, and three. Una, dos, y tres. I'm going to move this little.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah? Okay. Thank you. Hello, everybody. My name is Joaquin Lopez. It's a pleasure to be here. So my parents, my dad's from Mexico. My mom's Mexican-American. I was born in Los Angeles, and I grew up here. Oftentimes, I feel I don't have a place. And I used to cry myself to sleep. And then one day, I woke up. And I heard music. And I thought to myself, if I feel the music that my parents used to listen to, then I must be part of them. And I followed that thread. And it led me to creativity and the arts. And I was able to forge myself an identity. The more I expressed myself and the more I learned of the cultural art, of folklore and singing and storytelling. This next song I'm going to share with you was a collaboration between many artists and a painter. And as he painted, the artists would speak aloud what they saw, and he would listen and paint what they said. And they would observe and speak what they saw he painted. El Phoenix, the song is called The Phoenix, to commemorate those times in our life when we fall apart and then come back together to raise up again. Soy Fénix perdido, el sol obscuro, contra cultura, self-censorship, my love. Yo vivo en el limbo, vacío in between. Somos relativos, aunque en el borde respiro. Terracota, tus ojos, y ocre tu esencia. Amarillo, nuestro amor, mi amor. Pero pardo me siento, desire la distancia. El fuego del Fénix otra vez se levanta a volar al infinito, a volar al infinito. Terracota, tus ojos, y ocre tu esencia. Amarilla nuestra luz, mi amor. Pero pardo me siento, desire la distancia. El fuego del Fénix otra vez se levanta a volar al infinito, a volar al infinito. Thank you very much.
As we're moving microphones, I'll take just a moment of gratitude for Kathleen and Mario, two civic leaders, two civil leaders, two purveyors of wisdom, as well as Joaquin and all that you do in the community. So beautiful. And for this last segment of wisdom, such a joy to welcome my dear other daughter, Sophie Von Trapp.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Sophie Von Trapp, and I came to Portland 11 years ago to make an album with Pink Martini, and it was only supposed to take 2 weeks, and 2 years later, and I'm still here. And Miss Ida Ray is like a second mother to me, and she asked me to be part of this really special event. And I wrote a song for today, and it's making its premiere. So please be gracious with me as I stumble my way through this. But this song is called "Find Your Voice," and it's about what Miss Kathleen Sadat was talking about. How when we're young, we know our truth, we know what's right, and as we move through the world, we let the noise around us be so loud that we lose our voice, we lose our truth. And this is a journey of finding your voice again. We know our truth, we never doubt ourselves, for we are all we knew. My yes was yes, my no was no, and where my compass pointed, I would steadfastly go. But then the noise around me grew louder and louder, the opinions of others grew harder to counter, and the molding, the scolding, the praising, the shaming, the language inside me I used for containing my own true voice, my own true voice. Go find your truth, go find your voice. It's a restless case, give it all it takes, and don't you dare give up. Find what lights you up. Oh, go find your voice, go find your voice. I fell in love, and I looked for another view, and I tried to change myself so I'd be worthy of you. I lost my way, I lost my path, and I couldn't find my guiding compass in the pitch black, and the noise around me grew louder and louder. The opinions of others grew stronger to counter, and the molding, the holding, the shaming, the language inside me grew stronger at blaming my own true voice, my own true voice. And the pressure cracked, the walls I stacked, and in my pain the silence trained my ears to hear, my heart to love, and then to know and love me. Go
Thank you.
Sophie, thank you. It takes great courage just to stand up and use your voice, but to use your voice in a world premiere, in words that you've written, and in music that you've written. Beautiful. Thank you. Every flame that we add to our Hanukkah menorah adds to the light that is not only in this room, but that we shed or let and allow to go outward into the world. Because this being, human, is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival. A joy, a depression, a meanness, some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome. Welcome and entertain them all. Even if they are a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep through your home, empty it of its furniture, still treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice. Meet them at the door laughing. Invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. Poem is by Rumi, one of my favorite metaphysical, spiritual guides in the world. Another one of my favorite metaphysical, spiritual guides in the world is in the room with us today. Her name is Name Natume. She is a Portlandian, completely local. Well, not completely. She actually comes from Australia. But for how long? I don't know. 25 years she has been here. You might have thought her in hiding because you might not have heard of her, but you'll remember her now. Name is going to help us to literally breathe in the world we live in and breathe out the world we hope for. So I'm going to leave it to you, Name. Thank you. Thank you, Cantor. To the light that we actually brought in just a moment ago with Cantor Kahana is our candle of healing. And this segment of our afternoon is actually all about healing, very centered on that. So if you want to just bring that into your field, whatever that means to you, and whatever needs to be healed, this is a good moment for it.
Every single one of us has been touched by grief, by loss, by heartbreak. Each and every one of us carry a longing for love, to be loved, to be able to give love, to have our love received. And our heart breaks, the stories of our hearts get in the way of us being able to be loved, and sometimes they get in the way of being able to love others. So we're going to go into a little meditation to help balance what happens in your personal heart. The heart is an amazing organ. It beats every single moment of your life, and we're not even aware of it most of the time. And it has this capacity to take in the blood of your body and move it around through your lungs and oxygenate it, and then pump all of that really good juicy blood back into your entire body. And it's constantly beating in and giving out. So this is a meditation that is about 2,500 years old. It comes from Lao Tzu. And Lao Tzu was an ancient mystic whose words are still so valid today. He said, if you wish to ease the world's suffering, then start with yourself. So this is a moment for us to start with ourselves. And the way we're going to do it is, if you feel comfortable, you can just lower your eyes or even close your eyes and just let yourself rest for a moment. And see if you can recall a moment when you felt full of love. A moment when you felt like your heart was bursting with joy. A moment when you felt touched by love by somebody else. It could have been a moment of music. It could have been a moment of beauty. It could have been a moment in nature. It could have been a moment with a child or an elder. However you can track into that absolute feeling of love, let yourself go there now. Let your memory recreate that feeling of love. And then beginning to feel that sense of love, we're now going to use the in and out power of transformation of your heart to help you heal a moment that's in your life right now where you feel some heartbreak. It might be something very deep and personal to you. It could be something that's happening in your family. But make it very close to home, something that's very personal for you. And what we're going to do is to use the power of the love that you feel right now to ease the suffering of your personal heart. And this is the way we're going to do it. You're going to breathe in your suffering, your moment of pain and agony. And as you breathe that in, you're going to take it into your heart. And then with your intention, you're going to breathe that love back out. The heart is a powerful organ of transformation. So begin now, very gently breathing in your personal suffering and breathing out that love moment that you just remembered. So breathing it in and then breathing out love. Breathing in your pain, taking a big breath and breathing out love. Maybe deepening your breath now. Breathing in your pain. And surrendering it. Breathing out love. And if your mind wanders, just bring it back. And really focus on breathing out the love. It's so easy to breathe in pain. It's so easy to access suffering. If we want to change the world, let's start right here and now by changing the way you hold your own pain. Breathe it in and breathe out love. Breathe in the pain. Breathe out love. Breathe in the pain. Breathe out love. If you find it difficult to breathe out the love because you're caught in the pain, come back to that memory that we started with, that memory where you felt love. A moment in your life that was filled with light, with joy. Remember that moment deeply as you continue to breathe in your pain and breathe out love. Breathe it in. Breathe out love. Breathe it in. Breathe out love. And then let yourself rest. Let yourself rest. Sometimes the hardest thing in the world is to love ourselves. Give yourself a break. Let this moment of compassion soothe whatever pain you have right now. All of the great mystics talk about love as a choice. So, I welcome you to making the choice to love just a little bit more with your breath. And let's breathe out one beautiful breath of love to the world. Breath in, and a moment of love to the world. Thank you.
Hundreds of years ago, rabbis asked a rhetorical question. My Hanukkah, what is Hanukkah? The word Hanukkah means dedication or rededication. As each season of our life rolls around, we dedicate and rededicate ourselves anew to those values which give life meaning and purpose. The ways in which we define ourselves and our root values, these come out of questions that are asked and answered differently during some of these wintry days of the year. What does it mean to rededicate myself to freeing my spirit from pessimistic thoughts? What kind of light animates and nourishes me? What brings me healing and wholeness? What is possible with the light that I uniquely bring? This work is not easy. Maybe we need to remember that before we get to the light, there was darkness. Jewish mysticism teaches that the first primordial light of creation was too much, and it shattered. The shards of scattered bits of light are there, waiting for us to reclaim them. So the menorah is placed in the window outwardly to cast light on those passing by. On Shabbat, during the week when we light lights, they're kept internally. It's just for us. It's just for our family. It's personal. But on Hanukkah, it's not just about us. And here at CBI, we are blessed to have an artist within our community, Brian Gutierrez, who created a menorah that sits high in the window of the building facing Northwest Flanders, and it shines its light for all to see as they pass by. It's wonderful to kindle and rekindle light and lightness of being, not only in ourselves and our loved ones, but in every community and with every person we encounter. We've been guided for thousands of years by the light of the heavens. Find your share of that first scattered light from the stars and help to kindle light in the darkness. Cantor Mark and I have prepared a little activity, as he may have mentioned, and you're holding, hopefully, a card and a candle and a golf pencil.
We're not taking scores.
And a star.
And a star. So stars not only light our way in the heavens, and they're things that we wish upon, as far as I do sometimes, but they also can light our way internally. So we're going to ask you to radiate with your star by taking the star that you have there and your little golf pencil and write down, could be a single word, probably a single word is best, that expresses what you would like to radiate.
And if you didn't pick one up, it is fine to get up and go out into the lobby, or perhaps we have helpers that can help retrieve some pencils.
Or you could do it afterwards. It doesn't have to be at this moment.
Okay,
So
that's true.
the ones that have clothespins, I ran out of clothespins, sorry if you got a rubber band, but the ones that have clothespins are dual-purposed, because once you write this expression of what you either would like an intention to be in the world, or how your light or someone else's light or the universe's light might shine, once you place that, it's interesting, once you take a physical action, how it can manifest. So simply by writing that word on there, you already create the energy to manifest whatever it is your intention is on that word, whether it be love or compassion or caring or healing or anything that you desire most in the world. to happen for you, for those you love, and for people you might not know at all. And at this time in the world, these kinds of thoughts, these kinds of actions, this kind of energy is so needed. It is really what changes the world. It changes how we think. It changes how we feel. It changes what can happen, the possibility of what can happen. So please go ahead and write that down. And if you're so inclined, share it. We're happy to have you let us know what your intention is. You can just call it out, and you don't need to. Also, you can place it on your person with the clothespin if you want to keep it close to your heart, which helps it to radiate even stronger. Or you could place it on something else. So when you go home or when you go outside, maybe on a tree, maybe on a plant, although in Portland that would likely to get soggy rather soon. If this were California, we could have it up all year long. But you're, whatever you would like to do with it. So we're just going to take a moment to do that. Does anybody have a word, a blessing, a thought that they would like to share that's on their star? Please. Gratitude.
Thank you.
One of my favorite words. Every day, every moment. Someone else? Peace and happiness. Thank you. Thank you. Compassion. All fantastic attributes. Coalition.
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 We need to coalesce.
We need
Yes.
to coalesce a lot more.
Service, did I hear it?
Acceptance.
Thanks, Jen.
Thank you. Understanding. Yes. Presence.
Thank you. Yes.
Empathy. Clarity was the other one? Is that right? Clarity. Okay.
Someone's raising their hand.
Kindness. We could all use kindness. And we could all give kindness. How many words do you want? Knowing one another. Thank you, Sherry.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. We can use more than one word. It's fine.
Yeah.
What was that? Safety. Thank you. Playfulness. What is a life without play?
So important.
Forgiveness, listening. Collaboration. Thank you. Humor. That goes right with playfulness. Nuance.
Love that. Harmony.
Harmony.
Thank you. Such beautiful intentions. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing those, for creating those, for bringing those beautiful thoughts, those beautiful feelings, those beautiful intentions into the world. It's what we all need, what we all, I hope, want, and what we all can certainly share with one another. After all, there's a crack in everything, and that is how the light gets in. I'd like to invite up our beautiful Kolechad choir.
The birds, they sang at the break of day. start again. I heard them say, oh, don't dwell on what has passed away or what is yet to be. Ooh, the wars, they will be fought again. The holy dove, she will be bought again. Bought and sold and bought again. The dove is never free.
That's how the light gets in.
That's how the light gets in.
That's how the light gets in.
Sometimes we sing, sometimes we speak, sometimes we move. We can express ourselves in so many different modalities. Sometimes our silence is plenty, sometimes more than enough. But for me, when I want to express deep, or perhaps more profound feelings, you might call them, I often like to incorporate every mode I can possibly have at my disposal. I'm a little bit frenetic. So I asked Michael Galen, who those of you who are members of the congregation know, if he would help me to express to you some of my thoughts through the beautiful poet Mary Oliver in this poem called Wild Geese. You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert, repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about your despair, yours, and I will tell you mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear pebbles of rain are moving across the landscapes, over the prairies and the deep trees, the mountains and the rivers. Meanwhile, the wild geese, high in the clean blue air, are heading home again. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination. It calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting. Over and over, announcing your place in the family of beings. Sometimes finding that place can be so incredibly, incredibly difficult. Sometimes we punish ourselves because we think we are a member of nothing. We have no place in the world, as Joaquin was telling us in the beginning. Sometimes it's hard to find a place. But there is a place for all of us. It's simply that life, being life, is filled with a balance. It is about a balance. It's a yin and a yang. Sometimes we feel full, sometimes we feel empty. Sometimes we wonder where the hell we're going, but sometimes we know. Balancing that yin and yang, which could be happiness against sadness, joy against sorrow, health with illness. Sometimes it's hard to be clean and clear about that. So where do we go? Where do we go to find out? Where do we go to settle? How do we make sure that we are grounded here on earth and free to fly in the air, free to be in the heavens? There's no one answer. I wish I could give it to you. I think I'd be, well, almost God then. But what we do have is community. We have ourselves to look inward with, that inner light, and we have our community or communities that allow their outer light to come to us when we need it, and our outer light to shine on them. Healing truly is not something that stops when you're healed, or when you think you're healed, or when you feel you're healed. Healing is an infinite process. The more we're in the world, the more we understand there's more to heal. The primordial light that Cantor Kahana mentioned was perhaps the cleanest, purest, and most exacting light that did not need healing because it was perfect in its form. But we, being human beings, coming into the world, we are not necessarily that kind of perfection. We're a human perfection, which again is a yin and a yang. So I know in this time many of us are feeling so much difficulty in the world. Sometimes we take it on our shoulders, we take it in our hearts. We feel our own personal necessity to try and heal, whether that's from pain or from anger or from any number of emotions we can assign to that, disappointment. But we are here with each other, so this is a moment that you can allow the communal energy, the communal source of love, the communal sense of security and safety to surround you and to enter you. I'd like to invite you to do that for just a short moment, to embrace your own healing, to embrace the healings of others in just a simple, direct, quiet meditation.
Rifa'enu Adonai V'nei Raphael Hoshi'enu V'ni V'shea Heal us, O God, and we shall be healed. Save us, and we shall be saved. Einu, Rifa'enu, V'nei Raphael, Hoshi'enu, V'ni V'shea, V'halei refuah shlema, L'kol makotenu. Grant us a perfect healing from all our wounds. Baruch atah Adonai, Rophei, 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 Holy.
With gratitude to Cantor Raina Green for that beautiful rendition.
And thank you to Peter also, Peter Zisa and Yokiko and Leanne for their beautiful, beautiful addition to this. I think they know who you are. I'm not going to introduce you. Is that all right?
I don't always know who I am, but thank you. Thank you for this. The next candle that we are lighting on our Chanukiah, this third candle, is a candle of love. We have been, over this past hour, breathing love. Thank you to Name for teaching us how to breathe that love out into the universe. And we are taught that we have the ability to love even when we are not supposed to love. Some years ago, I received a beautiful invitation here at Temple to join friends at the Bilal Mosque to come and break the fast of Ramadan with them and to experience that sense of love and of joy that was there. And over several years, we've had opportunities when there has been great pain in the Muslim community. We've tried to be present for our friends. And when there's been great pain in the Jewish community, our friends at the Bilal Mosque have reached out to us as well and been present for us. And in this moment, this very difficult moment where there is great pain in the Muslim community and there is great pain in the Jewish community, it is beautiful to light a candle of love and to invite my friends Sharir and Mustafa to come and to share some Quranic readings with us.
Shalom Aleichem. Shavuot Tov. I hope I've gotten that right. I did get a sound here that seems to indicate that I did. I'm winging it, as always. So, before I get started, you are members of the majority in this country. We are not only not members of that majority, but over the recent years, we Muslims have found we have fewer and fewer friends. And I'll be honest, Mark was very sensitive to me using the right words, and I'll try. We have felt isolated. We have felt alone. And that is not what the Quran, the Hadith, that God wants from us. That shows a weakness in faith. And may God forgive me for having that weakness, but I am what I am. You did not have to call us. You did not. We could have been left by the wayside, and none would know. And the Rabbi Kahana did not have to start off with remembering the Ramadan event, but he did. And he didn't have to. And for that, we, and through us, the Muslim community, Mustafa and myself, our children, are immensely thankful. They not only hear of love, but they see it, and I promise you, every child that comes to the mosque who are themselves stressed will hear of this event repeatedly, as will their parents. And the Rabbi and I, we have talked. Typically, we get into a reactive mode and have events, but this time, God willing, inshallah, will continue. So, what I will do today, and thank you very much for inviting us for lighting of the candle. By the way, some of you guys saw us scurrying around for a moment, and this gentleman kept reminding me, Maghrib prayer time is going away, Maghrib prayer time is going away. I was sort of zen. And he just kept needling me, and I said, I got to give in. So then he said, let's go, it's getting late. So I go out, and I can't find Rabbi Michael Kahana. He's tall. And I forgot, I am short, so,
We'll fix it for you, how about that now?
So that's what we broke off to finish the prayer. I finished part of it, and then I came back. He insisted on finishing the rest of it, then he came back. By the way, it's the 4th time I'm praying in this synagogue. So, this direction is almost correct, with except a few degrees, almost correct. So anyway. So, do I light a candle, or have you lit the candle? You lit it. He didn't trust me. I'd set the whole place on fire. No, but thank you for it. I may mess up. But what I will recite is a few verses from the Quran. And some of you may know Arabic, and if I mess up, just bear with me. And I'll give a translation of it. And then Mustafa will recite another verse from the Quran, which is very close to our heart. There is a refrain, فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ. And what other signs of God do you need to see to believe? So, فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ. فَبِأَيِّ, you'll hear him say that. So, let me start first with my section. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. I begin in the name of God, the most merciful and beneficent. In the Quran, in close meaning, I'll say the Arabic, and I will try to translate in close meaning. And I'm paraphrasing in close meaning because the Quran to us are the words of God, cannot be changed. So what God is saying, only God knows. So we can only render our understanding of it. So I need to preface it in that way that I did. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Ya ayyuhan nas, O humanity. It did not say, Ya ayyuhal mu'mineen, those of you who believe. Ya ayyuhal Muslimun, O you Muslims. Ya ayyuhal muttaqun, those who believe without seeing. Nothing like that. It is addressing humanity. Ya ayyuhan nas. Inna khalaqnakum dhakari wa unsa. It is said, verily I have created you from a single male and female, Adam and Eve. وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ شُوبًا وَقَبَائِلًا. Wa is a harf and atf, which is connecting a concept with another concept. Wa and the mufassirin, the scholars, the Talmud, the scholars say that there is a hidden explanation as to intentionally. Ya ayyuhan nas, O humanity, inna khalaqnakum dhakaran wa unsa. وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ شُوبًا وَقَبَائِلًا. And it is being said, and I have created you intentionally as different nations and tribes. Saying, if he would have wanted, he could have made everyone black like me, short like me, and old like me. Everyone. He could have made everyone tall as him with a perpetual smile on his face and white. But he didn't. He didn't. Ya ayyuhan nas, O humanity, inna khalaqnakum dhakari wa unsa. I've created you from a single male and female. وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ شُوبًا وَقَبَائِلًا. Now the scholars say there is another hidden letter here. Why? Ya ayyuhan nas, inna khalaqnakum dhakari wa unsa وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ شُوبًا وَقَبَائِلًا لِتَعَارَفُوا. Li ta'arafu means to know one another. So I would go over to the rabbi and I would ask him, I wish I knew Moshe Kahana. I wish I knew what he did to create or give birth to a son such as his. I wish I knew him enough to know how he ended up choosing Ida and how he ended up reaching out to us. Lita'arafu means you know one another intimately. And he knows me well enough to say, how's your heart? I remember you went through a quadruple bypass. You worry about your daughter not being married. Is she married? She's not, but she's independent. She hates me asking that question, and I have learned to respect it. But brown people, we sort of get on their case for this kind of question. So li ta'arafu is why God made us different. So we reach out and try to know one another. So ya ayyuhan nas, inna khalaqnakum dhakaran wa unsa wa ja'alnakum shuban wa qabaila li ta'arafu. And then he says, inna akramakum, the most exalted amongst you in his eyes are the ones who have this quality. So, when we pray 5 times a day, we are supposed to be among the muttaqi and to be one who remembers God's presence from sunrise to sunset, and every time the individual is awake, cannot have it without love. Thank you very much for inviting us. I'll hand it over to Mustafa for the rest of the stuff.
Can you guys hear me? So what I will do is I will recite a few verses from our holy book, and then I will do the translation, the English translation of these verses. Now I have to tell you that, I'm originally from Bangladesh. Arabic is not my mother tongue. This is something that I've learned from my mom. My mom, she must have learned from her mom, and so on and so forth. So I will tell you that I have lots of deficiencies in my Arabic pronunciation, so please bear with me. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Ar-Rahman, allama al-Quran, خلق الإنسان علمه البيان الشمس والقمر بحسبان والنجم والشجر يسجدان والسماء ورفع وضع الميزان ألا تطغوا في الميزان وأقيموا الوزن بالقسط ولا تخسروا الميزان والأرض وضعها للأنام فيها فاكهة النخل ذات الأكمام والحب ذو العصف الريحان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان خلق الإنسان من صلصال كالفخار وخلق الجان من مارج من نار فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان رب المشرقين ورب المغربين فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان مرج البحرين يلتقيان بينهما برزخ لا يبغيان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان. So the name of this chapter is called Ar-Rahman. It's very hard to translate this in English, but the closest meaning probably will say the most loving, the most gracious, the most merciful. And here comes the closest meaning of all the verses I just recited. The most loving, the most compassionate, who taught the Quran, created humanity, bestowed them the knowledge of intelligent speech. The sun and the moon travel in precise motion. The stars and the trees bow in submission. As for the sky, he set it up on high and set the balance of justice, so that you do not cheat the scales. Weigh with justice and do not cheat. He spread out the earth for all beings. In it are fruit and palm tree with date stalks, and grain with husks, and aromatic plants. Then which of your Lord's favors will you both deny? He created humankind from sounding clay like pottery, and created beings from a smokeless flame of fire. Then which of your Lord's favors will you both deny? He is the Lord of the two easts and the two wests. Then which of your Lord favors will you both deny? He merges the two bodies of fresh and salt water, yet between them is a barrier they never cross. Then which of your Lord's favors will you both deny? Out of both waters come forth the pearls and coral. Then which one of your Lord's favors will you deny? To him belong the ships with the raised sails, sailing through the seas like mountains. Then which of your Lord's favors will you deny? Even being on the earth is bound to perish. Only your Lord himself, full of majesty and honor, will remain forever. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Following that, can we get the group up here? Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King reminds us that darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. No, I'm over here. There we go. There we go. Don't remember where I was. Sorry. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. This evening we've heard so many beautiful versions of love. Thank you, Mustafa and Shahir. It was gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. We are told in the musical Rent that there are seasons of love. For me, I think that human design, as a human design, we are vessels of love. We can't really help but shine and be in love. Off here. And that love is something that occurs every minute and of every day. $525,600 minutes, 525,000 moments, oh dear. 525,600 minutes. How do you measure a year? In daylights, in sunsets, in midnights, in cups of coffee, in inches, in miles, in laughter, in strife, in 525,600 minutes. How do you measure a life? How about love? How about love? How about
remember the love, remember the love, remember the love, measure in love. Seasons of love, seasons of love.
For the last of these candles, I want to invite our dear friend Cameron Witten, CEO of Brown Hope, and my dear colleague, Rabbi Rachel Joseph. This last candle is a candle of peace. And in all of the breathing and in all of the hope that we've had, we do want to have this sense of peace. Peace in Judaism, shalom, is not a passive thing. It's not an absence of something. Shalom is something active. Shalom is something that has to be created. So those of you who are not as familiar with Hanukkah have probably pointed out that every time I mention, or any of us mention the number of candles, we've got the number wrong, because there's another candle here. This candle, known as the shamash, is the helper or the guide, the one that makes everything else happen. And so as we light this last candle of peace, we are reminded that we have to be the shamash. We have to be the active one that creates, that brings more light into the world, that brings more peace into the world. May we each be a light.
Check out here. Yeah. Shalom, y'all. It's a gift to be here. This is what we need as a community right now, especially with peace. We know there's a lot going on in the world. There's also a lot going on in our hearts. And that dream of peace, precious, is something that we all must focus on right now in this moment. I've had the privilege to live in Portland for 13 years. In a city that is torn by a legacy of racism. In a city that still grapples to live with its values. Despite it being hard, I do believe that this is a city that can create peace. I've had the privilege with my work as the founder and CEO for Brown Hope over 5 years to see Portlanders of all racial backgrounds building a big umbrella for change, showing us that we are each other's neighbors, each other's siblings, that we're here for each other in our highs and in our lows. I'll be honest, for the past year I've wondered what happened to that spirit of Portland that I've seen time and time again. But I do feel relief here in this room with all of you that that dream is alive. It is ever present. And it's up to us who have the motivation to come out here on a Sunday, to show up every single day as priest bringers. So I just thank the congregation for allowing me to come here and speak. Much love to all of you. And may the music and songs that you hear today just carry on for the rest of the day. Thank you.
We're going to be closing now. We have a few closing words and actions.
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 We're an action people.
We are.
We're an action people. We've been sitting, we've been taking it on, we've been feeding our internal light so beautifully. We wrote down these amazing ideals on our stars, and we've just been filled with so much light and peace, but then we have to take it out.
Yes, we do.
Like with the shamash, the helper. We don't just light a match and then blow it out and then go on like we do on Shabbat. You were talking about that we actually light a candle that then builds the light, that then helps all the other candles. And that's our job, is to take our light out of these walls, beyond these walls, and build the light all around us. So I think we're going to do the action.
We are.
We're going to commit to that because we gave you these amazing little candles on the way in. Yes, exactly. And we're going to turn them on to represent our individual light, but then the light grows. Look, as we're turning it on, it looks so good from up here.
It's fabulous.
Look around and see the light. And then you're gonna take the light out. This is your commitment. You didn't know you were coming here to then sign up for something outside.
We
but
snuck it in.
That's what we do. This is not enough. Then we take it out into the world. The light looks beautiful.
It's gorgeous. Thank you for sharing your lights with us. Thank you for sharing your lights, both of you. Actually, St. Francis told us that where there is darkness, let there be light. And look at this. There was darkness, and now there is light. This is, I called this program originally Seeds of Light, Seasons of Love, but we can also reverse that, quite honestly, which actually I think you did, my darling. Kathleen, which I love. It is also seeds of love and seasons of light. And this is our season of light. This is your season of light. And all the love that you can possibly bring into the world, because, as Ecclesiastes tells us, to everything there is a season and a time for every purpose under heaven. And this is our time.
Magnificent Creator, the one who has inspired all of us to be our best selves, to find with compassion for ourselves and acceptance of our frailties, the understanding, the empathy, the clarity, the kindness, the nuance. Dear God, help us to help each other to feel the safety of each other as we dwell together in harmony, with forgiveness, by listening to each other, with deep, deep compassion, with acceptance, with playfulness and humor, so that all of us can truly know one another. And in doing so, we can create a world that is filled with peace, with light, with hope. Amen.
Amen. I'd like to invite the Portland State University Chamber Choir to join us for our final song. They're going to come up here. I'd also like to thank individually all of you who have so graciously lent us your time and your talents: Neme, Peter, Yokiko, Leanne, Joaquin, Sophie, also the Kol Echad Choir, Kathleen, Mario, our incredible band, incredible, led by
Tim Ribner, Ben Sandler on bass, Arthur Steinhorn on drum, Michael Galen on talking drum.
This
So
would not
many.
be this event
No.
without all of you.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. As the PSU choir, chamber choir actually began our entire day with Meet Me Here, which is what we've done. We've met each other here. they're going to end our day with a joyous, joyous celebration that comes from the Haitian voodoo tradition, believe it or not. It's called Gede Nibo, a song. The song is called Gede Nibo. The Gede Nibo is a spirit, a voodoo spirit, who we recognize as dressed in top hat and tails, and who basically helps us to transition from death into life or from sadness into happiness. This is, I kind of consider this song the Haitian voodoo version of Havanagila, because it's got a lot more rhythm, actually, but because it is literally a song that says, dance to freedom, share in your community and loving spirit, be happy, come and dance and sing, come and dance to the banda, the Gede Nibo. So please join us afterwards as they come out and lead us into the lobby for some refreshments and fellowship.
Chanter, aussi vini chanter, aussi vini maoulé.